Happy birthday. Stick around for the celebration. That's what we're talking about today. Hi, this is Frank Buck, and this is the place to be if you want to get organized and make it look easy. If you're with me on the day that this episode releases, then today is August 30th, 2024. 20 years ago, on August 30th, 2004, I published my first blog post. 20 years we've been doing this. And I want to share with you what I've learned during the journey. Number one, some things change over time, but some things we believe deeply and they remain, and we only realize it when we revisit our thoughts. Here's the first post that I wrote 20 years ago today. For as long as I can remember, I've been interested in systems that people had that helped them get their stuff done, but what kept them from getting their stuff done. I've been in education for over 20 years, and I'm currently a school principal. During my career, I've managed to put together a system and some strategies that I believe not only work for me, but can work for anyone who's interested in being more organized, experiencing less stress, and managing the limited amount of time available to us. Please visit often and enjoy. And 20 years later, the concepts I talked about then are still true. Secondly, how do you get the ideas? Writing one post is easy. When you start a blog or a YouTube channel, you find yourself wanting to publish 3 times a day because you have so much to say. But how do you keep that fire going week after week, year after year? I've known so many people that have started a blog and a few weeks later they gave up. They run out of ideas. They get busy. Life happens. Well, I firmly believe that one of the reasons that I've been able to keep doing what I've been doing for 20 years is just being awake to the world around me and the world around you. Interesting things come our way all the time that would be interesting to other people. And if we're exposed to excellence, a blog post or a video is a great chance to share that excellence with other people. And there's plenty of stupidity. Sharing it allows us to warn other people without personalizing that experience. Some of you may remember that old series called Dragnet that opened with the following line: "The story you're about to see is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent." Well, we all come upon those "don't be like that person's" stories. And with a blog, you've got the perfect outlet to share it with other people. Now, to keep it all going, you have to have a process. When I first started, a blog meant logging into Blogger, writing a post, clicking publish, and it was done. Well, soon you needed to have a picture to go along with the text. And then we needed to include links to other posts, things either you had written or you were linking to something else on the web. And then it was adding a podcast component to it. Then it was a video. And now we're creating a weekly email to send to our email subscribers that talk about the post. And it's a lot. That's one reason I've always had something to write on, whether it was digital or whether it was paper. Ideas are fleeting. Trap them so they don't get away. And when you have a place to trap those ideas and then later organize them and expand them into something that's worthy to share with the world, well, then and only then does the process become manageable. In 2008, I wrote about the process I had at that time. The post was entitled, "Keep the Fire Alive." And while things are more complex now with a podcast and a YouTube channel, the basic principles are the same. I'm going to link to that in the body of the blog post. Next, our blogs give us a place to leave tracks. Have you ever watched a movie and then years later you watched it again? Nothing changed, but the memories get hazy and we forget some of the good things that come our way as the years go along. Our blogs give us a place to leave tracks for ourselves and for others. As I was preparing this content for you today, I ran across a post from February 2010. It was entitled Goodbye, Dr. Jan. Jan Borelli was a friend that I knew through the internet before we ever met face to face. We were both elementary school principals. I was in Alabama, she was in Oklahoma. We were both editorial advisors to the National Association of Elementary School Principals. We were both avid bloggers, and we saw the power of technology to bring people together and make the world just a little bit better place. And when I presented at my very first national conference, Jan was on the first row. Jan died in her sleep very unexpectedly 2 years later. I'm including a link to that post for you today, and in it, I've included a post copied from her blog. It's a post entitled The Frigid Plains, Tamales, and Family. I hope you'll take the time to read it because it's incredibly good writing and it gives some insight into why her school was known as Jan always called it, the hippest school in America. Now, you've probably not heard of Jan, but because she wrote that post, you can still get some insight into what made her a good principal. And because I gave that post another life, it's brought to an entirely new audience. Next, our blog, it's the one place that I own. It's the one place you own. And it's the place where we can share anything we like. Whereas any of the social media platforms can be here today and gone tomorrow, this blog is the one place on the internet that is all mine. I'm not building my house on rented land. I usually use this space to talk about organization and time management, but I don't have to. There have been times that I've talked about my dogs. And one of these times is in a post I wrote in 2014 called What My Dogs Have Taught Me About the Real World. I'm including a link to it, and I hope you enjoy it. And finally, we live in a world that's given us a great deal. This is a great time to be alive, and we all have a gift to give. And a blog is a way for us to do it. It's a way for us to give back. So in 2010, I wrote about that in a post called Of Givers and Takers, and I'm including a link for you. Over the years, things have changed. I've moved from a blogger site to WordPress, a website that's on WordPress with a blog attached. Someone said to me once, hey, have you ever thought about doing a podcast? I mean, with your blog, you've got the wording already. All you'd have to do is read the text aloud. So in July of 2017, I started doing exactly that. And in late 2019, I added a video. 20 years and we're still going strong. It's been an opportunity to share my thoughts with people that I would have never reached through any other means. You may be one of them. And if so, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments on the YouTube channel or on the blog post. Thanks for stopping by today. And if you enjoyed this episode, there's plenty more on frankbuck.org. I've been a guest on quite a few podcasts. Check those out on the resources page and be sure to join the email list so that you never miss a thing. And there are plenty of blog posts for you to read going all the way back 20 years. Thank you for stopping by today. This has been Frank Buck helping you get organized and make it look easy.